Welcome to 2 Minutes of Gaming, where we talk about the top video game topics of the month for 2 minutes at a time. I'm your host, Keenan, and today I'm joined by...
Justin. How's everybody doing?
Everyone's tired of quarantine, I think, but our topic off the show was that. Anyway, a lot to talk about. This was supposed to be our E3 month, June, one of the most exciting months for video games, but Sony kind of saved it with their PS5 showcase. So for those who haven't seen it, Sony revealed the PS5 finally, and also a slew of games. Didn't go over price, didn't go over release date yet, but they did show an exclusive digital edition, as well as a few other things. So Justin, what's your thoughts on just the PS5 and the showcase as well?
PS5 looks like it's going to be a very huge system. It looks like it's just going to be a very huge hardware. And I don't know. I like the design. I like the sleekness, the design. As far as the showcase, I'm probably in the minority, but only a couple of games really piqued my interest. I would say at least 3. For the most part, I was hoping to get a price, but I had a feeling they were not going to name the price yet. But it's kind of weird knowing that this thing is coming out in December, that they didn't put a price on. But I am very, very impressed with games that they show, such as Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Resident Evil Village, or AKA Resident Evil 8. And actually that Horizon Zero Dawn sequel caught my eye as well, even though I didn't play the first one. But overall, pretty good.
You know what's funny? The show started out really bad for me. They started out with a Rockstar logo. So immediately I'm like, whoa, we're about to get the new Grand Theft Auto? No, it was just Grand Theft Auto 5 again. Stop releasing Grand Theft Auto 5. That game is old. Jesus Christ. I understand it made $1 billion, whatever, but let's just move on to 6. Let's move on to a Vice City remake. But that's another story. The console, I think it looks great. It does seem really, really tall. But again, the digital version is a little slimmer. I'm happy the digital version exists because honestly, I know people were dissing it online. I haven't bought an actual physical disc video game in so long. I could care less about anything but digital. So I'm going to say $50 or $100, hoping that maybe the console comes out at $450, $400, and then the like I said, the digital version is $50 or $100 cheaper. So that might work out for me. So I loved it. Overall, it was a good showcase, though. I'll say that. Yeah. To get more specific into the games, similar to you, Justin, I only had a handful of games, but we are big Resident Evil fans. So what's your thoughts on some of the games specifically that we saw, and what were your favorites?
Well, as I just previously mentioned, I liked Resident Evil Village. I thought that is a continuation, and for those who haven't seen it yet, they released last week a developer's special message where they got into a little bit more detail on what the story is going to be and who's the main character and how Chris is this brooding type of character now based on everything that's happened to him. So I'm really curious to see what direction they're going to go with it. Kind of tired of Chris, but I know he's the main character of the whole Resident Evil franchise. Spider-Man Miles Morales, they confirmed is going to be similar to like Uncharted Lost Legacy. So think of it as a huge, nice, standalone DLC. It feels like it's a DLC, but it's not a DLC. But it's a nice standalone that hopefully will lead into Spider-Man 2. And Horizon Zero Dawn looks pretty good as well. And Little Big Planet was caught my eye as well.
Yeah, the games, to be honest, it didn't make me say, oh my God, I need to get a PS5. The graphics were like good PS4 games. The fact that some of those games had no load time was like Ratchet & Clank had no load time, which was crazy. I think things like that is really cool, but it was nothing that was like, I gotta get it. Obviously, Resident Evil 8 was really interesting. I'm really interested to see how they're going to incorporate the werewolves and if it's going to be a real big part of the game like the zombies were, or if it's just going to be like a little side thing. But believe it or not, Justin, I know you didn't like it. A lot of people were hating on it. I was hyped for NBA 2K21, only because when I'm going to go way back. So when the Xbox 360 and the PS3 came out, I remember that jump, right, from PS2, GameCube to the 360. that was a huge jump for 2K. The game looks so much more realistic. Like I remember the sweat and stuff. So now they brought back all the crazy profusely sweating players. I think it looks great. I'm excited for it personally. Hey, you know I love 2K, so. On a sadder note, Sega turned 60. As a huge Sega fanboy growing up, probably my favorite company of all time when you look at it. They had a huge announcement scheduled. It leaked from Famitsu magazine that there was going to be a groundbreaking announcement. Now, before the groundbreaking announcement came out, they announced the Game Gear Micro. The groundbreaking announcement, for those who don't know, was actually cloud-based. They call it FOG, but like a cloud-based arcade. So the people who buy arcades machines, they can save money. So this could be groundbreaking for Sega in Japan. But guess what? We don't care. We don't really play arcade games out here anymore. So anyway, for us, the Game Gear Micro is what we're getting for Sega's 60th birthday. Justin, I'm going to let you go first. I'm going to try to lower my blood pressure when I talk about this. So what's your thoughts?
You know that scene in Jurassic Park where in the Lost World where Ian Malcolm goes to John Hammond and Hammond's like, I'm not making the same mistakes. And he's like, yeah, you're making all new ones. That's Sega. That's how I feel about Sega. Out of all the things they could have done with this, with the anniversary, how many times people have been begging for a Dreamcast re-release of games, remaster of Dreamcast games, Sega Saturn, which basically has never been remastered or even been thought of, which is kind of crazy. And you choose Game Gear, and not even just like a hand, like with a micro version of it, and then you have to buy all 4 to get more games. It's just like I just can't think of that. As far as the cloud goes, that seems like a really cool idea, but like you just stated, we're not in Japan. Just the only arcades that we have here, at least where I live, is the barcades. So I mean, arcade gaming is not as big as over here, but I just can't fathom what made them think that was a good idea. Game Gear Micro. I'm a pass it to you. I can't.
I gotta go over time this one, as you know.
Yeah.
First of all, let me just kind of look at the Game Gear Micro. If you wanted to make a Game Gear Micro, go for it, right? But do it right. So pit like 100 Game Gear games on one little thing, right? Now it doesn't have to be micro because I can't even see the screen, right? The screen is so small. They're selling an attachment, a magnifying glass attachment. How stupid is that? This company, like I said on the show a year ago, Justin, it starts at the top. Some of these executives at Sega need to be fired. Now, it's funny, Justin, I'm on Facebook groups, I'm on online, all these different places talking about these ideas. Before, the community came up with some great ideas. Justin, imagine this. Imagine Sega came out with a similar to the Switch, right? Not saying it's competing against the Switch, but they come out with a retro style handheld system that has all the Sega
the whole catalog.
They got all the 100 Genesis collection games that we always keep rebuying. Then it has Sega Saturns games that you never saw, they got re-released. Has all the Dreamcast games that they somehow are releasing here and there, like Shenmue, Jet Gun Radio, and then they can even release newer games like the Yakuza series, like the Persona series, etc. So imagine that on one handheld, and then they say to themselves, hey, we're going to pack in like 50 games, but if you want to download a special Panzer Dragoon, 1, 2, and 3 is Saga, package, you can for $5, you can for $10, you can for $20. Justin, they would get all of my money. All of it. Justin, I would buy games just to have them. I won't even play them. You say, Keenan, why you got these games? You got them already. I would just buy it just to have it all together. Just like the Switch, Justin, I've recently bought the Sega Genesis, I was thinking about it, the Genesis collection on the Switch. I played it a little bit because I'm playing Phantasy Star 4 again, which that's another topic. But I was thinking, even if I don't play it, Justin, I still want to have all these 50 games or whatever it is on my little handheld console. And if I'm in Vegas or if I'm on an airplane, I'm stuck in the airport, I have all these Sega games. So if Sega would have came out with their own little micro system that had all these things on it, Justin, they would have had like $1,000 for me. Easy. But I'm done. I'm next. We're going to go to the next topic. I got to stop.
Woosah, my friend.
Stop. So EA Play, another company I'm not going to go in, had an event. And that was kind of like the second big event for the E3 month that was supposed to be E3 after Sony's. And they showed some exclusive, never seen before gameplay for the new Star Wars game, as well as a collage with FIFA and Madden, as well as announced Skate 4, plus some other things. But Justin, what were your thoughts on EA Play as a whole?
Okay. First, I want to just address the Star Wars thing. I am a Star Wars guy. Everybody knows this. If they keep the same behavior, because it is a behavior with this company, that they did with the recent Star Wars game, that single player one, I will get it. But if this is going to be something like Battlefront, like they did before, and do a whole bunch of monetizations and things like that, I'm not getting it. That's all I'm going to say about that. If they keep it like they did before with the same behavior, we're good. As far as Madden goes, I just don't care anymore. I was a huge Madden fan, but it just seems like this game just constantly is just being recycled with new rosters. They take features out, put it back in, repackage the same features, and call it new. I'm done with Madden. FIFA, I'm not a huge fan of. Skate is a little iffy because I'm pretty sure they just did that because Tony Hawk remasters are coming out. And I'm a Tony Hawk guy. I'm going to get Tony Hawk. I mean, as much as I did enjoy playing Skate when it came out, I'm going to get Tony Hawk because it's the Tony Hawk series. It's coming back and it looks like they restored it to its glory. But otherwise than that, I'm kind of done with EA in a way. So,
Yeah, EA. I was actually disappointed by the Skate announcement because Skate, I think they said it was 10 years since it came out previously, and I do feel like it was a reactionary move. They didn't really have anything to show. They were just like, hey, everybody, Skate. And it's like they're trying to divide the audience. They're trying to make people say either you're Tony Hawk or you're Skate. So if you Skate, we don't have anything to show you about the game, but it's coming out. And that kind of shows me that, like, that's the new EA. The old EA was innovative, doing cool things, doing new things. The new EA is just like, let's just make money the easy way, and let's just copy whatever the trends are. All right. So last serious topic of the day as well. This month has been dominated by protests and riots based on pretty much not just George Floyd, but blacks, not being treated right. I mean, it's a simple thing. With Justin and I, we're not just a trend; we actually live it. But nonetheless, video games a lot of video game companies have responded as well. EA, 2K, they suspended the server on Blackout Tuesday, as well as they're getting more aggressive with taking down racist names. But one company that continues to stay in trouble with all of everybody is Riot Games. Riot Games, you guys probably remember that name from last year's show where we talked about them having gender discrimination lawsuit, and they were just in a mess with that. They're back as one of their executives, or former executives, put out a tweet basically condemning, he says, hey, I'm not condemning Judge Floyd, but I am saying if you have crimes, he says something like, if you have a lot of crimes like this, these things will happen. Then he posted like his crime report on Twitter. Very insensitive, very idiotic move. But Justin, what's your thoughts on Riot Games, who consistently stays in trouble? And then also, just in general, how do you think that these companies are responding to Black Lives Matter?
Oh, this is going to be a heated topic. Because First, all right, let me just address Riot Games first. I might go overtime with this, but it's the last topic.
Serious topic, yeah.
Yeah. As far as Riot Games goes, for people that are part of this cancel culture, I'm surprised that you guys are not going as hard on that as you do with things that's like a celebrity saying something or doing blackface from that was approved by a black comedian like 10 years ago. And if you don't believe me, see the Jimmy Fallon situation. This company has had a history of this over and over again. And the fact that it's still standing and the fact that this guy has the audacity. Look, whether George Floyd had crimes or not at this point is completely irrelevant. The point is how he died. There was no resistance. And that's the end of the story. That's what I'm going to say right there. There's no resistance, and it's not about what the guy did in his past. He will pay for what he's, it is what it is with that. As far as these companies go, I feel that everything that's been happening, I don't think is genuine. Because, and the reason why I'm saying that is because look at the history of a lot of these companies. A lot of these companies are used to pandering. All they do is pander. Pander does not create cash. It's actually doing a lot of a negative effect because people are awoken, and I hate using that word woke because it's so overused, but I'm gonna use it this time. People are actually waking up, I should say, to seeing the tactics of these companies. You have all these companies all of a sudden, like, I refuse to believe that these companies magically overnight grew a conscience, and now everybody wants to talk, everybody wants to tell black stories, everybody wants to market this and this and this. And like I said on my Facebook post before, I said, let's wait until all the hype dies down, everybody's calm, level-headed, and let's see who really is about creating opportunities for the black community. Because right now, it's cool to be a social activist. Right now, it's cool to be like, hey, look at me, I'm on the right side. I'm on the right side of history. I'm not racist. I care about black people. I care, I'm caring about these groups, and I'm just seeing that over. Even with the emails that I get from my website that I do for ONG, I'm getting, hey Justin, let me do this. Would you like to interview this black person? Would you like to interview this? Hey, we have this new black director. And now it's just like, okay, where was this before George Floyd? Where was your support before all this? Why does it take death? Why does it always take a riot? Why does it always take destruction for you to wake up and go, oh my God, they're human too? Like, so that's how I feel. Like, I don't feel, to make my long rant short, I don't feel none of this is genuine. I think this is just a nice PR stunt. I want people who are watching this and really listen to me to really think about this, because when did you ever see this much large support in this stuff? There's money behind this, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, I'm not going to keep it too long. I just want to say as well, and I totally agree. I think it's funny that it's taking companies now to like take down racist names. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you take that down before? So I definitely feel like, they don't want to quote unquote get canceled, which Riot Games should get canceled. Yeah. Nonetheless, I mean, their new game Valorant is getting canceled anyway because people don't like it. But nonetheless, people, they're scared of the cancel culture. But my thing is this: instead of you donating to these black charities that, honestly, as somebody who grew up in the hood, know a lot of people still in the hood, I don't know where that money goes. I'm not even
going. It ain't going to them.
Huh? What you say?
It ain't going to the hood.
It ain't going to the hood, exactly. And it might, it might put up a park or something like, you know what I mean? It might do something small that really doesn't affect us, but it really does. Now, what affects us really is, hiring blacks to your company. I'm somebody who, I'm telling you from experience, Justin, I've been going to GDC since 2005-ish. Okay, and it's a very small number of blacks there, and it's just what it is. I mean, there's always a time I'm at GDC, and when I'm in a class, I look around, I'm the only black person in the class, or there's maybe one or two other people black in the class, most, right? And that's even exaggerating. If I say 3 of them is in the class. So all that being said, these companies want to do more. They want to help. You can actually practice what you preach by bringing them in the house. But like I always say, Justin, there's levels to racism. A lot of these people want to just sign a check and donate something, but they wouldn't want you to work at their company. And if they do, they want you to work at lower level positions. It's similar to the Hulk Hogan thing, right? Hulk Hogan has said, "Oh, I put over blacks in the wrestling ring, and I help blacks." He helped Booker T and the Harlem Heat, great. But when it comes to black being inside of his household as an equal, marrying his daughter or something like that, that's an issue. So again, people got to understand that there's levels to racism, and these companies. When I personally started to see companies do more, then I'll believe it. And again, right now it's hot. So in a year from now, next GDC, I want to see more blacks there. And when I talk to the blacks, no offense to myself, I don't want to hear that they're indie developers. I want to hear, hey, I work for Microsoft. Hey, I work for Sony. Hey, I work for whatever, Namco or whoever. I want to hear these things. So, all right. On a positive, fun note, how we're going to end it, freestyle round. For those who don't know, this is the last round of the show where we just kind of talk about whatever's on our mind and whatever else, that we missed, because we definitely missed a couple things. So, Jesse, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I've been having a ball with Animal Crossing. I think I talk about it every month, but man, I didn't realize how connected this game is once you visit your friends' islands. I mean, I had someone from my sis island, Avalon, visit or move. I had people from other Ryan's island move to my place. People talk about your character all the time. Hey, you remember Best from Far Rockaway? From Far Rock? It's just like, it's amazing how connected this game is. It really does feel like, okay, I'm on this island, you guys on your islands, but we're so close because it's absolutely funny. I'm really enjoying it. I've been basically on my Switch most of the time now. I've been playing Animal Crossing, almost done with Xenoblade, the definitive edition for the Switch. It deserves the praise that it's getting. I'm really enjoying it. And also playing Astro Chain, which is, I can't stress this enough. If everyone sees that on sale again, eShop, pick it up. It is a great underrated gem for the Switch. Definitely must get.
Yeah, I want to say, I've been kind of alluding to it a lot in the show. I feel like I missed E3 a lot this year. Again, I think they really should have just had a digital show and just had like a digital presence for a week. But again, it kind of shows some of the ineptitude that exists on a higher level up there with that company, ESA. On a positive note, finally beat Final Fantasy VII. I want to hear what you got to say about it in a second, Justin. But I really, really enjoyed the game. Even though it was 40 hours, it did not feel like a full game. It felt like, even when I finished the boss, I was like, is this it? Like, I feel like something else should happen. And I had like so many items left, and I had like the way the game is set up. It's set up for it to continue. For instance, Justin, I'm gonna get very specific here for those who are playing it.
Spoiler alert.
No, I'm not spoiling you. It's just about materia. So I got a materia that
I meant for me.
Oh, okay. I got a materia that very late in the game, like literally like the second last chapter maybe, or last chapter, where I think it was like it would double the experience I got.
Yeah.
Like I kept getting like new materials at the end of the game, which I wasn't able to fully develop. I mean, I guess I could have went back. I can play it again and grind and develop them, but it's like the way the game was set up, it was like it felt like only a small part. But again, I really, really loved it. And my last thing, I just want to say, there was rumors about Rocksteady's new Batman game will be a Suicide Squad game. I think that's a great move. I'm excited for that move. I think staying in that Batman DC universe is great. They know what they do. They do it great. So let's just keep doing it to properties around Batman. So. But Justin, what was your rant that you wanted to talk about with Final Fantasy VII before we end the show?
Spoiler alert once again, because I am going to spoil the ending of this game. And I felt that this game Kingdom Hearts me. I felt that once again, Nomura went complex when it didn't need to go complex. It's a simple story with simple characters with some great motivation, and he had to throw in time travel. Why did he have to throw in either time travel or alternate universes? It doesn't make sense. That just frustrated me to no end with the time race. Whether the time race was just something when they first showed up, I was like, okay, maybe this is something regarding air if they're doing more layers with the ancients and things like that. Then you find out that the time rays are there to prevent any changes to the timeline. Why? This isn't the Flash. There's no reason for this. Seriously, there's no reason for this. I felt the game. I enjoy it. I think it's a game of the year contender. But there's so much stuff that could have been cut out of this. Yeah. This was just unnecessary padding so they can they could have did the entire disc 1 alone in this game. And if they did that, I would have been completely satisfied. You ended with Aerith's death, leaving us wanting more for disc 2 and 3. They could have did that. No, but instead they want to give you unnecessary sequences with Jesse. Yes, it did flush out the characters. I did enjoy that part. But it wasn't really necessary. You could have did a little bit of exposition or have a side quest for her, and then that would have been cool. But it was just way too much padding for me, and like I said, that's why I gave it like an 8 out of 10 because it wasn't. A lot of stuff could have been cut out from that. That's my rant.
I feel you, Justin. I just think that. For me, I have a lot of concerns with the game as well, and I agree it is Game of the Year contender. But the reason why I have so many issues with Final Fantasy VII is because I loved it so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted it to be great. It's like if you have a kid and the kid just like is not listening, like no, like, and you get more upset because you like, you're more invested into it, opposed to like some kind of kid that you don't really, some kid on the street you don't really care about, his classmate you don't care about. So sometimes you'll play a game and it's not as good, and you're kind of like, man, I don't know, whatever. But this game is like, oh my God, like just fix this and fix that, and you could be like one of my favorite games ever, and yeah, I really enjoyed it, but there were a lot of things I was just like what are you doing? But anyway. Thanks everyone for listening to another show. We went over a little bit on a couple topics, but nonetheless, good quality stuff there. So before we go, Justin, you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say one more thing on the George Floyd situation, because I just want people to just remember this, and hopefully if you take anything from this show or just from me, just let it be this one, because this is very important. What I'm about to say is this: we are all individuals, we are all human, everybody's here for a purpose, everybody wants to just live their lives, and learn and grow, and we can't do that when we have discrimination, when we have sexism, when we have racial inequality, and a lot of other things, and discrimination against someone's gender or sexual orientation. I challenge everybody to uncondition their conditioning, because a conditioned mind is a blind mind, but an unconditioned mind is a free mind, and that's all I want to say about that. So, thanks.
Better. All right, guys. Until next month.
Many days.